Hey guys, believe it or not, we've been busy. We've taken in a couple of collections. Here's one collection that was local. This guy just collected a few odds and ends, but mostly modern guns. And as you know, I prefer some of the collectible historical pieces. So that's what I'm going to show you today. Just some random examples of things that came in this week. So come take a look. Okay, here is the first gun I want to show you. This one, I'm going to ask you to help me. Actually, help me help you. This is a SS issued PPK, and it is a second variation. So that means it's numbered on the muzzle, but it's not RZM. So first variation would be the RZM marking, muzzle number. This, you can see the serial number, and here's where you can help me. I had the matching mag to this gun, but over the last year, somebody asked me, do you have a correct magazine for a second variation SS gun? And I said, sure, I do. And so I sent out this numbered magazine. It is 998330. Somebody out there bought this magazine from me, and I'd like to get it back. Now, this comes with a second variation, muzzle number 988. I will trade you this plus some cash if you get back to me and say, I am the lucky winner and I would like to help you out. So this mama is looking for her baby, and let's see if we can reunite the family. So that is an SS gun, muzzle number, a very rare variation, and I'm not going to sell it until I can figure out what happened to the magazine. And speaking of SS guns with matching magazines, here is another one. Now this one has an interesting story to tell. I'm not sure what variation it is, but it looks like a K under. I think that's like 4 or 5. You'd have to get my book to find out for sure. I can't remember. But this is the K under variation. And some people would say, well, unfortunately, probably the vet put their name on it, and also that they lived in Arizona. So we see the person's name, and we can see it's an SS gun. And I just so happen to have the matching mag in stock. This one, 206039. You can see on the magazine 206039, and this is 1K. So I had this, I bought this like this, and then I looked up the person, Fred J. Lepker. I looked him up and I found information about him, and I'm sure I found the vet. And then after I went to the trouble to find the vet, the guy who sold it to me said, hey, would you like the capture papers? Now, he happens to have 2 sets of capture papers. One was done in a typewriter and one was handwritten. One German pistol, and there's the serial number, automatic Walther pistol. There's the serial number. So matching mags, Fred Lepker. And the information I found out about him is kind of interesting. He only went through grade school, never went past grade school. He worked as a chauffeur, truck driver, bus driver. I think he actually drove trucks for the military. But he didn't enlist. He enlisted in '43. I actually have his marriage license. Copy of that was found online. And then I think this is his enlistment card found online. But what I found interesting, he enlisted in '43. At the age of about 32. So that tells me he wasn't really happy with his career and decided to join the Army instead. And I believe he was a staff sergeant at the end of the war. And there's his obituary. He died at age 77, and that was in 1986. Again, retired as a truck driver. So this gun, captured by Fred, was brought back. It is an SS contract gun. It does have the one matching magazine that I had here, but here's another mystery about it. It came with this matching magazine. Now, a lot of people are going to think this one must be fake, but it gives me pause because this is roll stamped and it is matching to the gun, and it says magazine number 1, which it can't be because this one is this I'm sure is factory. It's roll stamped, but there's no dent, so it was before it was hardened. This has a dent. I have seen, long story short, I have seen this style before. And it's usually numbered in a police arsenal or an SS arsenal. And so I do think this was made after production, and then later on it was issued and perhaps reissued. And at some point, they issued another magazine. Maybe the original magazine was lost. It ended up at Legacy Collectibles. And so they reissued a magazine at the Arsenal. It's roll stamped and you can feel it dented. So it was after it was hardened. The style, there's actually a K at the end with a period at the end, which fakers, I don't know why they put a period on them because it typically didn't do that. But from the Arsenal, I do see this exact same style. And it needs further research, but it is an interesting find. Next, I have a PP. Now, this is not SS, but it is the police, which was part of the security forces and actually fell under Himmler's purview. Most of the PPs that are police marked would be Eagle F, but this is kind of rare in that it is an Eagle C. Now, when you think of an Eagle C Walther, you usually will be looking at a PPK. The Eagle Cs were most often PPK, and actually, they only made 1,800 of these. So this was made during the war years. I believe it was late 42, early 43. It's in pretty good condition, some standard wear. It does have a correct magazine, which is a wartime magazine. And it is a rare police Eagle C. Again, when you see a police PP, they typically will be an Eagle F. Now, continuing with the theme of security forces, I'm convinced that this was issued to security forces, a detective, undercover agent, something, and I will tell you why. Maybe I live in a fantasy world, but it works for me. It's a cute little holster, by the way. And this is going to be a CZ, a Czech Duo. I call it a CZ. There you can see the logo. And right here is the Czech Lion and 44. You also see Duo here. There's a little 25 caliber. The finish is extremely nice. Has the original magazine. Not easy to get out with gloves on, but beautiful magazine, 25 caliber. And there's the back strap. Okay, security force. Imagine 1944, the Russians are at the gate. Literally, you can hear the artillery and the tank shells popping outside the city. You're in Czechoslovakia, and they're going to make a 25 caliber little girly gun. I don't think so. From the date and from the maker and the model, this is a little pocket pistol that maybe a Gestapo or a police detective or somebody in the security forces, or maybe to an officer as a suicide gun, meaning last ditch. If they capture me and they take my weapon, I'll have this one down in the, well, Hitler kept, not a Duo, but he kept a gun sewed on inside the lining of his jacket. So I could just see this as a security force gun. If you want me to prove that, I can't. I'm just telling you logically, they did not make these for civilians, and they did not make these for ladies' purses in 1944. I'm sure that it had a purpose, last-ditch weapon. And you can see here, again, there is the Czech Lion. You really can't make it out other than it's a lion, but it's that marking on the pistol as a proof mark and the date. So pretty cool little gun with a very nice, cute little holster. It seems to me there were some initials on it. Yeah, right here. I see HS right there. Obviously, I have no idea who that is. It's not really distracting, but it is part of the history of the gun. Okay, this is exciting. We got two very expensive guns coming up next, and this is a Party Leader and a Krieghoff. So let's talk about them one at a time. We already featured this in a video when I did a video collaborated with Gunstorian, Isaiah from Gunstorian. We took this out to the range and shot it. Of course, I swapped the grip before I shot it, but this is a Party Leader PPK. The condition is about 99%, only about 1% wear here. It's in the correct range for late 1938, maybe early 39, but I think this is 1938. There's the grip, a beautiful condition, no cracks here, no crack in the back, which is where they often get a stress fracture, and no cracking here. As I said, I took this to the range. It shot really well. In fact, my best grouping was with this PPK, and that beat out this Luger in terms of my shooting ability. I think both Isaiah and I both shot more accurately with this 32 caliber. It comes with a finger extension magazine, early high polish magazine. And it came with this holster, a spare magazine, by the way. Obviously, it'd be better if it came with a Party Leader holster, but this is an Aka holster. And it's tan with orange stitching. It's a nice looking rig, comes all together. And the name inside, this is kind of a mystery to me as well, because the name inside is Schminky. And I know I sold a Party Leader before, and Schminky's name was inside the Party Leader holster. I think it was Randolph or Rudolph Schminky. I'd have to go back and watch previous videos, but I did put it in a video. It has his name down here again, but this is, I believe, William Schminky. Then it has him here, and underneath his name is, it's either a city or a location or maybe a school, but it looks like Stabsarts. I don't know what that means, but maybe somebody from Germany will tell me what that is. In case I'm saying it wrong, we'll try to get a close-up right there. Stabsarts. Party Leader PPK, a really good find. We actually have a waiting list of people looking for a Party Leader PPK, so this won't last long. Now, I mentioned the Krieghoff, so let's do that next, because we also featured this in the video, and we took it to the range and shot it. Works very well, 9mm. This is a commercial Krieghoff. You can see the Krieghoff logo here. There's no date because it's commercial, and they didn't date the commercial guns. They did, however, put the star, which is a commercial proof. The serial number, you can't see it very well, but in front of the serial number is a very small P, which stands for private, so private sale, private use. And again, just like I mentioned on the Czech Duo, that they weren't, you couldn't go to your local store and buy this in 1940 because everything was going to the military, to the police, to the security forces. So the only people who could come in and order a commercial gun like this would be a high-ranking political figure. So a good little Nazi. And here you can see commercial proofs from 1940. It's an Eagle N right here. There's Eagle N underneath it, but it's very faint. There's an Eagle N right here, which is correct. So Eagle N, Eagle N. The side plate is numbered to the gun. And I mentioned in the previous video that the side plate is a little darker than the rest of the gun. Here you can see number 14. And there is a Luftwaffe proof on the trigger bar. There's a really tiny little Krieghoff L2 proof in there. So some of the parts were meant to go with military guns, but when they put this gun together, they grabbed parts from different bins. And the point I was going to make about the side plate, little known fact, but in 1940, pretty much every gun that I see has a darker side plate. In fact, the barrel is a little bit darker. Some of the parts are a little bit darker, which I believe, and what I've read, is that the parts were made in different bluing tanks, and then they assembled them together from pulling the parts together. But you will see that two different color, and that tells me it's all original and correct. You also see a matte finish here with a high polish finish around it. You can see the straps are beautiful. It does come with a matching magazine. The number you can see is 1114 right here, and also under the barrel. And then on the magazine, there is no Luftwaffe proof because it wasn't issued to the Luftwaffe, 1114. So we have a Krieghoff with a matching magazine, a very rare gun, and certainly would sell over $10,000 for a gun like this. And I will tell you, this is about the best I've ever seen, and absolutely no wear, maybe 1% or a 0.5% of wear. The only flaw I can see on this is just a little ding. I think somebody dropped something on it and put a little ding there. I didn't want to mess with the grips because I'm sure these are the correct grips. By the way, this is a fire blue on the screw, and a fire blue here, and fire blue here. Just a piece of art. Real quickly, another Luger. This is a commercial 1900. So it is Germany marked, and there are halos on that, which means original finish. It comes in .30 caliber, DWM, no American Eagle. So it's a commercial 1900. Now it has a very early serial number. It's 4-digit, and it's about 4600. So a very early 1900, first year of production. You can see that the safety lever is a little bit different. It has a blank wood bottom magazine. This is a pretty rare gun, early 1900, and probably, among the first ones made in the first couple months of production. And this one will be available on the website. And by the way, it has what I call bug proofs, which means there's a crown B, a crown U, a crown G, which obviously spells out bug. So they call it the bug proofs on the barrel, and on the gun as well. You can see right there, I think it's the B and the U. It's an interesting gun with a lot of history, just very little wear. All right, then we have a boxed PP. Now, anytime you find a Walther PP or PPK in the original box, it's a rare find, because people like me open up things on Christmas morning, and the first thing I do is throw away the wrapping and throw away the boxes and just pull out the gun. So when we open up the gun, you can see that it has a pink interior, which is early. You can see the serial number. I think that corresponds to about 1934, 35. I'd have to check. I have to, go back and read my book. But there's the serial number. So it's an early box. There's the original cleaning rod, original manual. This is dated 1939, so probably a little bit later. Then we have the tin, which has the factory logo on the front of it. And I believe there's just a little bit of, there's a little bit of, we call it horsehair, but it's not. That's the original in cellophane used to clean the bore. You take some of that and you put it through here, and that's how you clean out the bore. Also, little known fact, that little piece on the end, that helps line up the screw hole. Especially needed when you're doing a PPK, because lining that up, if it's not perfect, the screw doesn't go in, and so that helps to line it up. Maybe some of you learned something new with that. With the PP, it's not that big a deal. It almost lines up pretty easily, because it's a two-piece grip instead of one piece. There's the spare magazine. The separator was right here. You can probably see a shadow of it. Separator broke off. That's one thing that's not ideal. And there's the gun itself. Beautiful high polished finish, commercial gun from before the war, crown end proofs. A little bit of tarnish, not tarnish, but they're sitting in the box. Maybe it got moist, but there's a little bit of corrosion right there. But other than that, beautiful gun. In the original box, really hard to find. These can sell as high as like $3,500, but with pieces missing, it goes down from there. Certainly if it was a rare caliber, like a box 22, would go $4,500 to $5,000. Okay, this is the last gun I wanted to show you. It's not very sexy, but it is a rare variation, meaning I've seen this before. Don't know quite what to make out of it, other than it was reworked for the police. Now, from the cross out, it says 7.65, and that's crossed out. So this started life as a commercial gun, probably post-World War I, or could have been right around toward the end of the war. It was a commercial gun because they were not allowed to make guns for the military unless it went, well, they couldn't make guns for the military, but they could make guns for the police. So a lot of the military guns were converted into police guns. This was a commercial gun that was converted into a police gun. So we see the 7.65. Usually they have a date there. So this is a rare variation. Maybe it went through an arsenal and not the DWM factory, meaning this marking and alteration was not done at DWM. Perhaps this was done in an arsenal because it is so not normal. They don't normally put the caliber 9mm or 7.65 and cross it out. But as I said, I've seen this before. It does not have any military proofs. The barrel was swapped, but is now numbered to the gun. It has a crown end proof. It is numbered to the gun. And here you can see crown end proof, numbered to the gun. This is numbered to the gun. Throughout the gun, all the numbers are matching, except for the magazine. The magazine is a wood bottom, non-matching. But a couple reasons we know it went to the police. First of all, they swapped the barrel to 9mm, which the police would have required. Secondly, it has the sear safety, which the police would have required. And then lastly, there is a police unit marking. So that's, if you look that up, there is a book called History Written in Steel, and basically you can look up the marking. I know the SP stands for a police unit, or sometimes it's a police school. I'm just not sure where it went. A little bit of research might find that out. But this is an unusual variation that we will be offering on our website. Okay, well that does it for today's video. I wanted to show you some of these historic pieces. It's just basically an unrelated grouping, but in going through each one of these, you get a little bit of history of the war and the weapons that they used.